Cockroaches. All of them. It's not like they know it. See how they scurry about, desperate for enough while never being good enough themselves? That's what I find frustrating here, you see. This condition isn't at all uncommon, and the decent ones still manage to get through a fruitful day's work. Now Gregor was one of my employees not so long ago. He thinks he's special because he grew an exoskeleton. I've tried to cut him some slack while he recovers, but my company is only as strong as its weakest link, and I have profits to consider. How would it look if I gave everyone time off every time they became a cockroach? I'd have to double my staff just to cover all the time off, and it wouldn't be long before they started trying to call them sick days and asking to be compensated for their time off. The business would go under in weeks. People need to learn to leave their personal problems at the door, and if they can't, there have to be consequences. It's about personal responsibility, really. Feeling a little buggy just isn't a good enough excuse to miss work. Sometimes you just need to put on your extra large suit coat and get on with things. People really can't go around making their transmutations into everyone else's problem. As for me, I take personal responsibility seriously. You have to when you're the boss. A precedent needed to be set, and I set it. If every salesman I employ has to scutter their way door to door, then that's what they'll damn well do, so long as their sales aren't affected. I hardly find my decision unjustified. It isn't as though he was fired for the act of being a cockroach. Reprehensible as his appearance must now be, it certainly isn't his fault. I feel sorry more for his family than I do for old Gregor, though. I can't imagine how difficult it must be for them. His poor sister having to make up for the shortcomings of a selfish brother. His parents having such a useless lump of a son in their old age. How they tolerate his nonsense is beyond me. If it was my son, I'd put him straight on the street, and then he'd have to find work. I remember when my brother became a cockroach. He stayed in bed for a full week before our father gave the ultimatum. Either he stopped the carrying on, or he was out. And it worked a treat too. My brother was back at work the very next day, and he hasn't missed a day in 5 years despite his unfortunate condition. It's just the way of things, you see. You either get up out of bed and you get on with life, or you let it become your entire pitiful personality.